Yo, what is up, Knights? Aegis Rick here, back with one of the biggest updates DFO has gotten in a long time. For the past week, I've been experimenting with the Infinity update, and to avoid this becoming a 2-hour-long video, let's just go ahead and talk about it. Let's go. The Infinity update is akin to the All-in-One Reborn patch of last year. It brought with it a complete overhaul of the St. Horn region, and as the namesake of the update suggests, gave them infinite difficulty. But before we talk about the intricacies of the St. Horn changes, let's first go over the news that pretty much everyone has been even more excited for. Class rebalances. I'm not just talking about a few numbers here and there on a few classes. Damn near every class has been changed in some way. And a few of you guys, namely Female Male Spitfire, Female Male Mechanic, Soulbender, and Crusader, to name a few, have gotten such massive reworks that they no longer feel like the same class anymore. To go over all of these changes, trust me, would have taken many hours as I showcased on the stream. However, the best practice I'd say would be just to sign in and play the classes after looking at all of the class balances here in the link below. Battle Satyr is what you guys have been seeing here for a little while now, and I must say it's incredible how much more offensive these classes seem to be, which is always a great thing in my book. Gear, by the way, has been adjusted across the board for characters that received massive changes to their skills, including avatar skills and chronicle sets. Your class may even have a swap set that they didn't have before, like in the case of Dark Templar, so be sure to look at all of your changes carefully. So I've made my way over here to the St. Horn to kind of go over everything new that's been changed here. The NPCs and their prizes are more or less unchanged. You buy quest legendaries here at Luther, and you can still purchase chronicle set pieces at the NPCs here. Going into the dungeon region will show you the actual changes. In the Otherverse, there are no longer 3 stages of difficulty, but instead numbers that, you guessed it, can go up infinitely. Level 1, 2, and 3 kind of correspond with how hard the old difficulties were, but going past that will progressively make the dungeons harder and harder. As far as I can tell, there doesn't seem to be much of a point to it all, which kind of has me flabbergasted, but at the same time, it's kind of fun to attempt to go as high as you can to showcase your character's power. A stat you are probably already familiar with if you've actually done Otherverse dungeons is Exorcism, which has been adjusted to be effective in all St. Horn dungeons now. A set amount of Exorcism is required to do the dungeon without suffering a stat penalty. If you're above that set amount, you will do more damage and take less, while if you're below that set amount, you will dish out less damage and take more. Exorcism is found on all pieces of gear now, not just chronicle, and that exorcism can increase depending not only on the item's rarity, but also how much it has been enhanced or refined. In other words, if you want to do the most damage you possibly can, you'll have to consider getting a high exorcism as well to ensure that you aren't penalized. Aside from this, the Otherverse is more or less the same. What got changed even more is the Timegate Requiem, or Ancient Dungeons. Again, the dungeon screen shares much of the same traits as the Otherverse dungeons with the infinite difficulty options and exorcism parameters. However, you're probably wondering where EX Ancients went. Well, they seemingly combined the two into one dungeon, and the dungeon layout has changed accordingly. Overall, it seems most of the annoying time waster mechanics have been removed, such as Screaming Cavern waiting for the sword to be found, Ghost Trains waiting for the skeletons to spawn, and Cartel's missile dodging minigame being removed or adjusted to be speed runnable. The boss's patterns have also been adjusted and may even change depending on what difficulty that you choose, but what has changed the most was how you acquire quest legendary materials. Clearing an ancient dungeon will always drop 5 dungeon-specific quest materials directly, up to a cap of 50 a day. On top of that, there are no longer any daily limited quests, but instead the dailies have been moved to the daily challenge log here. Clearing any ancient dungeon twice will give you 70 quest legendary materials and 2 appeasing stones used for Requiem weapons. Speaking of which, have all been adjusted as well, at Iris costing much less materials and can be farmed much quicker now. By the way, if you still had some of your old materials from before this patch, she also is exchanging them here directly in this tab. The way ancient lions work now are also different. Clearing an ancient dungeon will build up your lion hell mode at the top right here. You won't have to actually fight the lion like before, but instead when your lion meter is full, you'll have a bonus gold card that could give you a material pot or a box with a random legendary in it. This hell mode of sorts is character specific, so you can't just leech off runs like you used to be able to. Instead, you must farm them up yourself. A nice feature though is that these runs only reset daily at FP reset, and that means that you can sign off, play a different character, and come back at your leisure to get the Lion Run at any time before it resets. I know I kind of just explained it all, but in very short terms, guys, this makes farming legendaries damn near trivial. It is a massive amount of materials given daily, and there truly shouldn't be any excuse for you not having a legendary set in a very short amount of time. That and the Requiem and Liberation weapons as well. This change was huge for gearing up characters with potent gear in a much easier manner. Now, to kind of touch on some events related to the changes, we've got PNP2 Infinite Challenge. It's a pretty simple two-part event. You get points based on doing Ancient and OV dungeons separately. You get rewards as your account reaches certain milestones, including quest materials and interdimensional fragments. The second part of the event rewards you for reaching high levels of difficulty up to and past level 12, which rewards you with exclusive titles as well as demon invites. Other events include the Golden Capsule and a Goblin Who Ate My Capsule. The Gold Capsule is straight up a level 80 EXP pill. Take one character and straight get boosted. My suggestion is to use it only on a character that you truly don't want to go through the trouble of playing to save you the hassle, or instead you can boost a higher level character but not as drastically. The Goblin event is very straightforward. Kill goblins in dungeon to get these event capsules. Inside, it can either be an EXP steroid for 5% EXP or an event item that you can turn in at the NPC, having items such as Awakening and Feet Clear tickets. Just a bunch of stuff to make your new level 80 character catch up much more quickly. You can also get more capsules in our new The Golden Honey Time, which is back, baby. Master Contracts and Refined Terranium are among your daily prizes, while the total duration prizes include a character expansion kit as well as a dual skill build license, which has never been given before, might I add. There's also the Will You Join Us Guild event, which more or less promotes new members to join a guild. If they join, they can catch up not only in terms of leveling perks, but also guild certificates. Those guilds which help these new players will also be promptly rewarded for their efforts in the form of whatever they want: ancient materials, life tokens, Antonium, etc. The prizes are a little weak in my opinion, but hey, if you're a newbie without a guild, this is a good time to join one. I'll end the video with a lot of other smaller changes to DFO that were added mostly for convenience. These are the kinds of things that I feel should have been added a long time ago, and we finally got them. So here we go in shotgun fashion. The Civ Epics now show a small item icon whenever they activate. The Disassemble All option now allows you to choose equipment for your class as well. Syria is now allowing you to trade your surplus of Kaleido boxes for Master Kaleidos of all grades, from rare to epic. Real nice. There's a new Terranium merchant over in between Pandemonium Outpost and the Central Park that will trade you items for your precious Terranium. He even buys them directly for gold and is also your go-to merchant for trading them in for refined Terranium. The guild window and raid window UIs are now more clear and have more information, such as how many clears each person has during raid. Guild Hideout War was removed, and thus the guild hall has changed again. The NPC for it though will still be there temporarily if you didn't purchase the items from his shop before it got removed. The cost of purchasing most NPC items has gone way down. Guild Dungeon Legendaries as well as boss uniques are much more affordable, all the while dungeons are dropping even more meteors than ever before. Mount Cullen is considered optimal level now. Pandemonium Rift has a daily account cap of 3 instead of the old of 5, and the Tower of Despair was changed drastically. Now you can only enter a maximum of 6 times on your account depending on your Explorer level. However, the Epic Pots now are level 75 to 85 with the option to choose your weapon type. Mega hype. And whew, well, I hope that you don't just take my word for all this stuff. Jump in game and see it all for yourself. But anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you nights. Later.